My mom, ever since I could remember, she's been just a little different, and I didn't really realize what it was until I I woke up one day and I wondered if all kids had to go through what I go through. Schizophrenia is a chemical imbalance in the brain. It has to do with the serotonin dopamine receptors, and I'm not going to get into technical terms because I just started learning about this in psychology, but I do know that it is schizophrenia. Whatever. Okay. I know that I was probably around 5, 6. When you're old enough to kind of start realizing, and connecting the dots that not every kid lives the exact same life. When you go to your friend's house and their environment's a little bit different than the one that you grew up in. I think after a while it just started clicking that I was living a different life than other people. I think my family's been affected greatly. Me and my two immediate sisters who I lived with when I was down here before I moved away, and we were a really tight-knit family. My sister Tanya, actually, growing up, she was like my mom because of, she just couldn't really be there for me because of her mental illness, and because of her illness, my parents always got into fights, which I really don't recall because, when they would start fighting, my sister would bring me and my sister into the room so we could play, kind of distract us like that, and it just really kind of jump-started our adulthood, I guess you could say, because we had to be more dependent on one another rather than our parents. We didn't live in the greatest environment. Like there's been times where we lived without heating, plumbing, water, food, everything. But it's the family bond that we formed that really helped us push through it. We really haven't gone through counseling. I do believe that is some things that some of my family members should partake in, because it's definitely not nothing just to breeze by, because instead of having a mother to take care of you, you always have to make sure that your mother is taken care of. Right now, she lives in Crestwood Estates, and it kills me knowing that she's stuck in a home, because I know that's not where I would want to be. But all her kids are young. We're all in our 20s, and we're trying to start our life off. So we're not stable enough to take our mom in. As much as we would like to, we can't help it. Schizophrenia is something that it's not going to be under control completely. It'll never. The meds that they give her is just to dull the episodes. So she still has disillusioned thoughts, and she'll say stuff under her breath, and she's constantly worried that I'm in harm, and I got harmed in the past, and I always have to remind her that everything's fine. I never broke a bone in my body. I turned out a pretty good guy. I got strong morals and ethics, and I think I do contribute that to the way I grew up, because I didn't have to worry about things like my Game Boy and Pokemon cards, which I did, of course, because I love them, but I had to worry about more of my family, and that's just it. I think that people should know that it's a challenge. It's a very big challenge. You really need to learn how to accept different people that in society are viewed as taboos, because taboo is just one opinion of a group of people. And I think you really shouldn't pass judgment because somebody doesn't look like you. Because what do you look like? Who are you to choose who's normal and who's not? You really have to be patient and understanding, because you're not going to understand them. You think logically where their logical thinking is twisted. Schizophrenia is definitely one that you got to work around it. It doesn't work around you. I think that normal is something that people made up just to rate each other. How does someone define somebody normal? I know for a fact that my mother is not the only schizophrenic in the world. There is a population of schizophrenics. There's a population of people with depression. There's a population of people with mental illness. So I feel like that itself could be considered normal. So I disagree with the term normal.
You know, I actually really liked it. From the beginning, it kind of hit home, just because the way the doctors were throwing drugs at her, just seeing what would work, and how it affected her family. There's a lot of trial and error, and I feel like it creates a lot of controversy on trying to appropriately diagnose the patient. And it's something that I think people should watch this, to see the insight on both sides, the effects on the family and what the mother's going through herself, because it kind of gave me an insight on how my mom was feeling during this troublesome time. And it really just kind of enlightened me and kind of put it into perspective, because I realized why she does so much stuff to try to please us. And it's just like in the show how she goes through the shock therapy treatment, and she does it for the family. I would definitely recommend it to everybody. Everybody should see this, just because people don't experience anything out of taboo that society considers. If you didn't have somebody in your family with a mental illness, you would find no reason to put any thought into this show. But if you get to experience it just a little bit, you kind of understand where people are coming from and why normal shouldn't be in our text today, because nobody's normal, and to judge somebody for being normal is wrong.